Hello, this is a kind of a test episode. Trying to get back into the CEB show, whichever channel it shows up on, depending whether it's CEB Sports Show, CEB show that's on regular back-to-back, gaming show, home show, whatever appropriate channel it ends up on, depending on the subject. So we're testing to see how this works. Doing little 10-minute shows-ish while I drive, or any other time when I have something to say. I'm coming into this with not much to say, though what's been on my mind, one of the things that's been on my mind is how recently, there's been nights and this coming weekend where things have been loaded sports-wise. Monday, you had, this kind of depends. Maybe this is more for a DMV local guy. But Monday, you had the WrestleMania go-home show of Raw. You had the last two Elite Eight of the women's tournament, which involved Maryland, so maybe that's why I thought it was a big deal. And then you had the DC Defenders and the Houston Roughnecks, the top two teams in the XFL, having a Monday Night Football game. And it was probably one of the better Monday Night Football games in the last 365 days for ESPN, even though it wasn't NFL. But then, my point was going to be this weekend. You have all these wrestling shows coming week. You'll have the NXT show, I believe, is going to be at noon on WrestleMania week, or weekend on Saturday. You have the two WrestleManias. You have Final Four. You have more XFL. Of course, this matchup for the XFL isn't as big, at least for the Defenders, because it's like the top team versus worst team. But that screams upset possibilities. Hopefully not. As a Defenders fan, I don't want to see that. What else is going on? I want to say Houston and St. Louis play this weekend, which is, I'm not sure how XFL is doing the playoffs, I know it's the top two teams from each division. What I don't know is it the 1 and 2 teams from the North Division will play each other, and the 1 and 2 team from the South Division play each other? Is it one from one division versus the two versus the other division? Or is it just seeding based off of those 4 teams, based off their record? I would imagine winning your division gets you a home game, but maybe not. I need to find that out. I should come into this more prepared, maybe. But though, I would think the XFL would have said I've seen every Defenders game. I have not heard that part of the playoff picture, just that it's the top 2 teams from each division. I would, if they haven't made that decision, Rock, Danny Garcia, how you doing, girl? Whoever else is in charge, I would do number 1 from one division versus number 2 in the other division. That way, you don't, you're not going to have two games that we've already seen twice before. Because if the playoffs were today and they did 1 and 2 from the same division play each other, we'd see DC and St. Louis again. DC swept them. I didn't mean they would beat them a third time. But, if you've beaten this team twice already, why do you have to beat them a third time to get the championship? It's one thing if they made it to the championship, but you shouldn't have to play them a third time to get it, or beat them a third time to get into the ship. So yeah, XFL, 1 from one division, the 2 from the other division. That's how the playoffs should be. Speaking of the XFL in minor league hockey, we are working on a minor league power ranking, which is going to be interesting because not all the 3 leagues we have in mind to start. We might throw in maybe Arena, maybe anything else that comes up. I'm still waiting. What was it? The Freedom Football League? Yeah, it would be the CFL, the USFL, and the XFL. But the thing with that is, you look at the season, the XFL starts the year. When it's winding down, the USFL starts. And then while the USFL is going, and maybe they don't start till they start winding down, the CFL starts. So we're working on a system to do a power rankings with those. With the ultimate goal is to be the top team at the end of the year. So we're working on that, and we'll start posting that on the Back to Back Sports Facebook page. I think that'll be pretty cool. Oh yeah! Also this weekend, I mean, it starts Thursday. It's opening day for all 32 teams. But I mean, you got these series continuing. It'll be like the second game for a lot of these teams. Some teams will have opening night because some teams do opening day, and then opening night is like a whole different thing because it's dark out. That is what it is. But they want to make a big deal of it. But even still, it's the second game of the series. You saw one game and you're like, oh, that team crushed the other team. What's going to happen the second time? And with me, baseball is like interesting at the beginning. I'll like pop in here and there, see how everything's going, and then it doesn't really get interesting till All-Star break. And then you see the playoff push scenarios and the trade deadline. And that's when it's most interesting. Of course, if your team is like killing it, then it's really interesting, and you probably want to watch more and more because you want to see them continue, winning, because it's always fun to win. It's always fun to watch your team win. So if they're killing it, you're more likely to watch. And baseball's interesting. I was talking to somebody about that today. Is like, it's probably the only game where you like take turns in your emotional states. Maybe football is similar, but it's like your team's up to bat. You're hopeful. They get out. You're sad, and now you dread because now the other team comes up to bat. And the more outs you get hopeful. And you get the 3 outs, your team's up to bat, you're hopeful they score. It's kind of it is an emotional roller coaster. Of course, depends on your attitude towards baseball, your mindset in general, and whatnot. Of course, if you have a dominant pitcher, sometimes you like watching your team play defense. So yeah, another thing I was talking about, and we're about to end the show because it's been about 10 minutes. It would be interesting if baseball, instead of counting each game individually, each 3-game series is what you were playing for. So like if you win a 3-game series, you earn 4 points. If you sweep the series, you get like 5 or 6 points. I would think 6. Point being is, it's not so much the one game. It's the overall. I mean, because what do you enjoy more, a series or one game? And I think that would make games more interesting. Maybe not. Who knows? I just think that would be an interesting experiment. I will probably pass that on to the PSS. Keep your eyes open on what that is. They had some test sim boxing last fall, and now they're working on some stuff, and they will, I guess, be back up with something very soon. Speaking of soon, we have to end soon. Actually, we got to end right now. That's my time. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment anything you feel you want to comment or disagree with or agree with or whatever. Have a good day. Peace.